Hello friends. So now we are moving to the module C, unit number 21. And the topic which we'll be discussing now is one on talent management followed by succession planning. To introduce myself, my name is Paul. Uh, I have got about 40 years experience in financial services, which includes a very long stint at Central Bank of India, which was followed by a stint in learning and development at Axis Bank, followed by a stint in financial services and L&T Financial Services. Thereafter, I have now moved into Suryodaya Small Finance Bank, and I head the uh, learning and development as well as the HR here. Now, before we discuss the topic of talent management, um, I would like to recap on the previous module which we discussed, which was on talent management. In fact, sorry, it was on job analysis. So, what is job analysis? A small recap on that. Job analysis is the process of studying and collecting information related to a job. This is what we have discussed in the previous module. The process of conducting job analysis should be scientific, transparent, objective, and based on concrete data or information from stakeholders. We've also seen that the stakeholders included the job holder, the supervisors, customers' feedback, and experts who are job analysts. So we have discussed this that we take data or information from all the stakeholders and then we try to uh, evolve that into a kind of a module on uh, job analysis. So job description would have listed out activities in terms of what is the job, how and why the job is to be done. So how the job is to be done and why the job is to be done, which will also bring out the importance of the job and how to do it in the best possible way so as to improve effectiveness. And we also understood that the customer feedback and our complaints which are received from customers would also give us vital inputs and insights for job description and analysis. So having discussed job analysis, let us move to the next topic, which is on talent management, which is part of the development of human resources, ABM Module C, unit number 21. Talent management. Talent, what is talent? Talent can be defined as a natural aptitude or skill. Now, talent is also a flair or an ability or the capacity. We could discuss it from that point of view. Talent management, actually, this term was coined by McKinsey and Company, and thereafter it has become an integral part of human resource management. Activities within talent management would include the following. So we can break it up into the following elements. One is talent assessment. The next one is talent development. Talent management of human resources having high potential. So we do a differentiation here. Apart from the general talent management, we focus more on those human resources who are having high potential because we need to take care of them in a very special way. Talent management also includes talent succession planning so as to look at the future and be very proactive on the talent management part. So just to recap, talent can be defined as a natural aptitude or skill. Talent is also a flair, knack or ability or capacity. Talent management, the term was coined by McKinsey and Company. And activities within talent management would include the following. One is talent assessment. How do you assess the talent? Then how do you develop the talent? And then we focus a little more on human resources having high potential and strategize and be very proactive in actually developing that kind of talent. And talent management will not be complete without doing the succession planning for the future requirements. Now, the talent management is also, as was described by McKinsey, it's like called the war for talent. It's virtually a war in the sense that it envisages anticipation of required human capital for an organization and the planning to meet those needs. So, in anticipation, we need to understand the kind of human capital which is required for an organization and planning to meet those needs. So, strategies, proactive measures which we will have to initiate to manage the talent. It virtually becomes like a war. Talent management is also known as a science of using strategic human resource planning to improve business value and make it possible for organizations to achieve their goals and meet organizational achievements and objectives. Now, before we discuss the steps involved in talent management, uh, if you look at an organization today, uh, we can discuss this as part of what is called the profits method. For an organization to survive, you need talent. Now, why we need the talent is because we have to survive in a very competitive environment, and we may use profits as an acronym to understand what is this challenge all about. So, using profits as an acronym, um, we can say in the word profits, the letter P stands for productivity. There is a emerging need to improve the productivity on a continuous basis. Particularly in financial services, the balance sheet should grow, and we need people to manage this entire exercise. R stands for readiness to change. Continuously, we'll have to evolve and make changes and manage the changes which are actually encountered in the process of, you know, the competitive environment management as well as to continuously improve the performance. So the readiness to change is very important. O stands for optimum utilization of resources. So avoid any wasteful expenses and make the best use of the resources which are available. Optimize the utilization of the resources. And to manage this, you need talent. F stands for fairness to all. So we need to sometimes have a differentiated approach to reward those who contribute more and also to encourage people and the talent which will be required to continuously improve the performance. I stands for interest and involvement. The talent that we have should be always involved and interested in growing the organization. We need that kind of a frame of mind in the talent. And of course, S stands for service with a smile. So in financial services, the service and customer experience are very, very important and can never be ignored. And for this, you need talent who will be able to provide that kind of an experience, which is generically known as service with a smile. Now, what are the steps involved in talent management? The first step would be recruiting and onboarding the talent, the human resources. So recruiting and onboarding the talent. Once the talent is onboarded, then we take all those steps or initiatives to retain the talent. It should not happen that a talent gets onboarded and immediately exits. So we need to create a congenial atmosphere, a challenging atmosphere, an empowering atmosphere to ensure that the talent is retained. Now, as part of retaining the talent, we need to look at developing the talent in terms of learning and development, providing a much more empowering and challenging kind of a work environment, and motivate the talent to continuously improve the performance and be very result oriented so that the benefits of the profits will actually happen. And of course, as part of retaining and developing the talent, compensating providing welfare and rewarding talent also would be an integral part of that. Uh, Compensation should be benchmarked with the best in the industry as per the practice, and also to provide the best welfare measures so that the talent can be actually retained. And finally, to develop the talent, it has to be a little empowering approach for which we need to reward the talent as per the contributions which the talent can make towards the organizational development, and helping talent to enhance performance and improve productivity, which can be done through a multifaceted approach. For example, it could be part of learning and development, it could be part of the leadership development, it could be part of you know doing having a very differentiated approach in terms of rewarding the talent, and of course providing an environment which is not only challenging but also very empowering so that the performance can continuously improve. Going forward, uh, the value of the talent can be improved through empowerment, role clarity, and compensation based on contribution made and performance linked. So, in today's competitive work environment and the market conditions, improving the value of the talent is also very important. And how this can be done is through empowerment, providing the required tools and guidance. And another very important thing is to have better performance, improve the performance, and be very result oriented. There has to be a role clarity. The role which the talent is expected to play should be very well defined. And there should be a clarity. And once there is a clarity in the role, automatically the performance can improve. And the compensation also should be a little differentiated to make it really rewarding. So what happens is, nowadays there is a trend to make a differentiated approach where the compensation will have two components generally. One is called the fixed component, which is the minimum sustainable level. Apart from that, based on the performance in terms of how much the talent can contribute, the compensation can be benchmarked. And this is the kind of style which is being followed nowadays. And it is basically performance linked. So, which is also known as the variable component of the compensation. So the trend is to have two types of compensations. One is the fixed portion, and then there is the variable portion. The variable portion is automatically linked to the performance and the kind of contribution and output which the talent can deliver. Now, there is also the important requirement to nurture the talent. So, talent actually can be nurtured by providing appropriate enablers, which could even be like smart use of technology to make the whatever job is being performed more result oriented, and can also improve the speed. And in processing kind of jobs, we call it as being first time right. So how do you make the performance first time right is by providing appropriate guidance, also by providing the required tools which will help the employee to use the knowledge and the tools to make it first time right. And the more they do it first time right, there is a cost optimization and also a motivation that they can do much better. So appropriate enablers and tools, and by also defining well-known, well-drawn processes with continuous improvement. The objective is to make a better first time right as compared to what is known as a not first time right, which can really drag the entire energy of the particular performance. Now, talent retention due to talent attrition is a growing challenge. There are so many factors which contribute to this. It could be the competition, the market conditions, and the growing expectations of the talent. So, talent retention is a very important point to be kept in mind uh, as part of talent management. How do you manage the attrition and how do you retain the talent? It's a bigger challenge today. Now, the dynamics of talent management have changed with more and more millennials entering the talent pool. So, the generation Y, as we call it, their outlook is different, their mindset is different, and they always expect a very empowering environment. They want to have a challenging kind of a job environment, but they also need appropriate guidance and tools, including information technology tools, so that they can perform better. And they always have the expectation to become more and more responsible, to be entrusted with more responsible challenges, so that they can always rise to the occasion, and they are open to doing that. And so this dynamics of talent management have changed with more and more of such generation Y getting into the workforce. And also that there is going to be a big age gap between such new entrants and also the existing senior talent in the organization. And it has to be a very empowering and also a very conducive atmosphere which will have to be created, so that they can work together, blending the youth and the experience. And once that experience and the youth get blended, it creates a very well knit, high performing organization. Now, talent management is fraught with better job opportunities today because of competition and new players entering the market in any kind of activity, be it financial services also. So there are better job opportunities opening up in the market, and therefore they get lured by the competition. It could be because of better technology being used, faster processes being used. Also, it could be due to better salaries being offered. And so those subjective elements get into the thought process, and some of the talent is lured by the competition, and this is one of the reasons for the attrition which is happening today. Now, how we manage that, how we are able to retain the talent, is the biggest challenge. Now, mitigation is possible again through providing more empowerment, and one of those factors which attract the young talent is today smart use of technology, and also providing enablers for self-development. So actually, a lot of coaching, mentoring, and self-development initiatives are required, so that they are always able to stay back, and they don't get lured by other external factors from the competition. So mitigation is possible provided those steps are initiated. Now, continuing with the discussion on talent management. So talent management envisages management of human capital at the stage of selection, and after the selection, it's at the stage of onboarding. We have to provide a good experience even at the stage of onboarding to create that first impression. And then developing the talent. Once the talent is onboarded, the next stage is to develop the talent. And that also includes nurturing the talent by providing necessary inputs. And therefore, by doing all these things, we will be able to retain the talent, and that is providing the platform for continuous improvement in performance and productivity. So the aspiration levels are high, the expectations keep on rising for the new talent. How we can actually nurture that and retain them is by providing a platform for continuous improvement in performance and productivity. And they feel part of the entire exercise when they get rewarded for actual performance. So they would like to contribute and get something in return as a compensation for the performance which they have actually given. Now, not having right and enough talent is very, very crucial, because it can either make or break the organization in its onward journey. So, for the growth of the organization, for development of the organization, we will have to have the right talent, and having the right talent will help us in that particular journey of continuous improvement. But if you do not have the right talent, the entire journey can come to a standstill, or the entire exercise can break down. So therefore, the importance of talent management has to be highlighted, has to be appreciated. And what we have already discussed is all those measures and steps which we can take toward developing the talent for the progress and prosperity of the organization. Now, having discussed talent management, there is another aspect of human resource development which is interconnected with that, and that is the topic of succession planning. So, succession planning is something to do with looking at the future talent development initiatives which an organization can take. So, succession planning is also known as talent replacement planning, because what happens is in an ongoing situation, uh, the talent may leave before the scheduled date of leaving through attrition. It can also happen that the talent will leave because when they retire or when they move from one role to the other and there is a vacuum created in the other role. So talent replacement planning for key roles, which is mostly in the category of leadership roles, is the heart of succession planning. So we say succession planning is also known as talent replacement planning, particularly for key roles. It is a process of identifying and developing new leaders who can replace or take over of existing leaders when they exit on retirement or otherwise. So it could be due to retirement, which is a natural process, or it could be otherwise. Now, succession planning increases because it's replacement planning, it can increase the available talent to assume such roles as they become available and to fill the vacuum created in an ongoing situation. It is more of a proactive method followed so that the continuous talent management can happen in a very effective manner. Uh, Succession planning also requires readiness of groomed or identified but potential talent to stand in or take over when the incumbent exits or shifts to another role. So it is not only because of attrition that we need to have the succession planning. It could also be that an existing talent has to move into a different role, and in the previous role there is a vacuum created. So it is to be ready with uh, the talent to take over in such scenarios so that the whole process will go ahead in a very continuous and in a very smooth manner. So it's also about succession planning is also about creating a talent pipeline to ensure seamless takeover and stepping into the shoes of those moving out. Is exactly what we discussed in the previous point. Succession planning is also required due to expansion. Now, as we have seen in the beginning of the discussion, today organizations have to continuously improve productivity. The balance sheet should grow. So this will actually involve a lot of expansion and diversification of activities. So there is not only continuous improvement in performance, we have to look at newer activities. That is how we can probably face the challenges in the market. And the market expectations are to be kept in mind. So expansion and diversification of activities in an organization is an ongoing activity. Now, which can create a leadership vacuum or vacuum in the talent, or it can be a shortfall of such talent. And for this also, we need to be ready with the succession planning. So as we have discussed, succession planning is a continuation of the talent management, and it is looking at it more proactively so that we are ready to meet the situation as it emerges. Now, continuing with the succession planning. Succession planning is a process whereby an organization ensures that employees are recruited and deployed to fill each key role within the company. It envisages recruiting superior employees, developing their knowledge, skills, and abilities, and preparing them for advancement or elevation into richer, larger, and more challenging roles. So, we also talk about in talent management and succession planning on role enrichment. So, the role being played will have to be enriched so that there is a motivation to stay on and to progress. Now, succession planning is an integral part of career planning because unless the career is planned or we help the talent to plan the career, succession planning cannot happen. Succession planning has implications on human capital management like selection and recruitment, learning and development, performance management, compensation policy, rewards and recognition. Now we call this as a life cycle of the human resource management, and succession planning will move on the entire life cycle of the entire human resource development. Now, creation of talent pool and nurturing future talent are all initiatives relating to succession planning. So, by creating a talent pool, we are also doing the succession planning because we can develop the identified talent to take over those responsibilities and assignments which will be created when existing talent move into a different role. It is proactive and planned strategy of human capital management. So we say succession planning is all about being very proactive and planned strategy of the human capital management. Okay, listed below are some of the best practices. So we let look at some of the best practices in succession planning. Now, building a database and data mining of identified talent pool for key roles. So we have to proactively build a database of such talent who can be groomed for future kind of roles. Engaging the leadership. Now, this is also a very empowering method. Engaging the leadership in supporting, mentoring, and deploying high potential leaders to play this role. Supporting and mentoring. Sometimes it also involves coaching. Now, providing critical developmental exercises or interventions to those who can move into critical or key roles. So, it's through experiential learning workshops and developmental interventions, we can actually groom the future talent who can be part of the succession planning or the talent pool. Now, leadership development programs to help hone leadership skills early for identified potential leaders. Again, this can be done through developmental interventions or experiential learning workshops. Now, strengthening the weak links in the leadership chain. So you will find that it is always said that the chain is as strong as the weakest link. So we should be able to identify the weak links in a chain and help those weak links to actually come up to the expected level and strengthen their confidence and their kind of outlook. And that is how we can actually create growth for the organization. Succession, achievement of objectives. Having a well-defined plan for succession and its implementation can help fulfill the following objectives. So what are the objectives? Improve employee commitment, loyalty, and retention. It can help to meet the career development expectations of existing employees. It can help us to counter the increasing cost and scarcity of recruiting employees externally. We are developing the talent from within. Homegrown talent can quickly align with the vision and mission of the organization. So that is the advantage. We need not reinvent the wheel. It's already there. We just need to help them to quickly align with the vision and mission of the organization. Despite increase in attrition, succession planning is gaining more and more importance and recognition. So we should not think that because of attrition, we will not have to focus on this, but we have to uh, make it integral part of the human resource development. Sustainable progress can be achieved through succession planning of human capital. So, friends, I hope you have enjoyed the discussion, and I'm sure that you will be able to now appreciate the importance of not only the talent management but also